We have a lawyer and a political analyst with us in the studio, Justice Uwebu. Justice, good morning.
Good morning. Let's hope you can do justice to this matter.
You were in Imo State, so
yeah.
You monitored everything. But let's even begin from this perspective. So I heard an analyst recently say that the National Working Committee, who set up what is it called? Who went to conduct the first Gulag primaries and also went to conduct the other primaries, is even in the center of the confusion in Imo State.
Well, the two position is that the Gulag committee, which Gulag was the chairman of that election committee, and also the returning officer for that particular primaries or election, that was conducted on the 1st of October, which Senator Hope Uzodinma emerged winner. Now, when the controversy came, there was this announcement by the chairman of the party, Adams Oshomole, that that committee has been disbanded, which he has no right to do. Yes. Because if you look at the rules, when there is any complaint arising from the primaries or any primaries, there is a panel, an appeal panel set up for it. So you make your petition, the appeal panel will now sit and decide whether that election will be held again or whatever. Adams Oshomole is one person. He is not the National Working Committee. When you say National Working Committee does not represent one person, it's only the chairman of the party. So as far as some of us are concerned, and legally and by law, the second purported primaries conducted in Imo State on the 6th
By
Ababiaka and Rochas and his own people was an illegality. Secondly, I was in Owerri. Other aspirants, they will have about 9 aspirants. Others did not participate in that same election. So how come you said you conducted the election?
So in other words, what you're saying is that no primaries held in Imo State. Is that what you're saying?
Have you not had?
If I heard you correctly, the first, the Hope Uzodinma, the Gulag committee.
That's the only.
That's the one.
Legal primaries.
That's the one that you would recognize.
Yes, okay. Of course.
Okay.
And even the Gulag himself had gone on air. You saw him on channels on AIT saying that he conducted the election, and as a returning officer, that he had to leave Owerri because he felt that his life was in danger. In fact, he said, if quoting him on AIT, that he was offered money and even a private jet and $2 million in order to deliver the results the incumbent governor has written, which will emerge his son-in-law as the governorship candidate. But that he refused. That is why this whole...
But what do you think is playing out here? I mean, you have the electoral law, the rules that guide the process and all of that, and it seems nobody's looking in the direction of what is laid down, what the laid down rules are. No,
the truth is that conduct of primary election is purely a party affair. The party has
but the party has its own rules.
Yeah, the party has its constitution and its own rules. And as I speak to you, we some of us we took time to go through we did not monitor only the APC primaries. We monitored almost all the primaries conducted by every other political parties. In order to be sure, coming from the civil rights organization, to be sure that these things we are complied with. And we did not see anywhere the first election, the primaries went foul of the rules.
So Oshomole is in order to recognize the... But he's been accused...
But from what you said now, he was the one who disbanded, who allegedly or disbanded the Gulag.
Legality cannot arise out of illegality.
Okay, so he came to realization that...
whatever be the truth, like I said, the truth is that, listen, Lord Denny said something in the case of McFoy against USC. He said you cannot place something on nothing and accept it to get balance. It will definitely collapse. That is the position.
Okay, now
we're talking law here.
Yes, absolutely. And the law, like they say, is you know.
He's no respecter of any man.
Yes, okay. Both sides have been accusing each other. Shomole says that what Okorocha is trying to do is imposing their own candidates and resorting to self-help. In the case of Amosun, he actually used, you know, those words. While on the other hand, the Uchenwosu camp, which is the Okorocha's camp, is saying, look, Oshomole, you cannot stop me from becoming governor in 2019. That, as a matter of fact, you don't even have the right to stop me.
If we look at it this way, Uchenwosu cannot come out now and start claiming to be the rightful candidate. If he had won the first primaries, it would have been a different thing. He is relying on the second primaries they conducted on the 6th of October. And remember that as at the time that primaries was conducted by them, there was already a subsisting court order. There was already a subsisting court order from Abuja.
To the effect? To
the effect that no other primaries or elections should be held regarding the Imo State primary election, and that Hope Uzodinma's name should not be substituted for whatsoever. So in fact, let me tell you, by now, if not for one thing or the other, those that conducted that second primaries are supposed to be facing contempt charge in the court, because it's contempt of court. In as much as news added that the APC council claimed they were not aware that second election was conducted. But so be it. So why would he not come out to begin to make claims? You said something about imposition. Period to this time, the governor of Imo State, where I came from, has already told Imo people, in fact, it has been on social media, even on air, on television, that his son-in-law must be the next governor of Imo State.
What makes
he was
it wrong?
quoted as saying he will not hand over to anybody else apart from...
We also he didn't hide it.
Right. Okay, you know what? We'll continue with this discussion. Justice Uwebu, the lawyer and, of course, political affairs analyst.
We've been talking about the crisis rocking the All Progressives Congress in Imo State. It is far from over, and we're still looking at how things are going to pan out. The governor on one hand, as well as the national chairman of the party on the other. We have with us Justice Uwebu, who is a human rights lawyer and an analyst. We've been looking at these issues. Now, Justice, most of the mention of Nwosu on the papers have to do with the son-in-law. So is there too much emphasis on the concept of, or the fact of being son-in-law, Nwosu being son-in-law to Okorocha, than him being an indigene, or him being, in the eyes of the Constitution, and eligible, you know,
to vote and to be voted for.
Exactly, to be voted for in the eyes of the law.
As a matter of fact, somebody asked a question, very pertinent question: should being an in-law to a governor become
a criteria,
or be an inhibition to one's political ambition? Is it a fair question?
No. You see, okay, let me put it this way.
All right.
First of all, as a human being, one, as a citizen of Nigeria, and somebody who has the right of franchise, and what is franchise? The right to vote and the right to be voted for. He has the right to aspire for any position, whatsoever he wishes. But the problem here exists. I am from Imo State. Rochas Okorocha, this is his second tenure. He's finishing his second tenure. If some of you have been following the trend in Imo State, Rochas Okorocha turned Imo State to what we call today, or describe today, as familocracy.
Wow.
It is only Rochas and his family that are occupying Douglas House. And everybody is just looking at him. But the problem is that he forgot that Imo is a peculiar state. Imo is a state of intellectuals. They will wait for you at the gate of your success. And everybody kept quiet. Period to this time, they have been going around saying that it's over their dead body, that his son-in-law must succeed him. Now look at the two things. Impunity, one. Now, even if you succeed in making your son-in-law, imagine as APC flag bearer, will your son-in-law, will you also impose him on Imo people? The answer is no. But Rochas is believing that once he gets ticket for his son-in-law, he will use federal might as an APC governor. He forgot how he became governor. He displaced an incumbent governor on Hakim then, because Imo people gave him a sympathy vote. On Hakim wasn't this desperate. Then aside from that, if he had done well in Imo State, it's a different thing.
So if Okorocha had done well,
it's a different thing.
In your thinking, it would not have mattered if
no. It would have still mattered.
He supported his son-in-law.
No, it would have still mattered. Okay. But at least you would have something to say. Look at what I have done. Please let the person, my anointed candidate, be supported. It's a different thing. But as I speak to you, Imo is in shambles. Workers are not being paid. Pensioners are not being paid. No infrastructure. In fact, the workers that are even being paid, they slash their salary to at times 60%, at times 70%. There is serious hunger in Imo State. So nothing is working. Imo State is grounded. So tell me the moral justification. Then aside from that,
some would say you could say the same thing about other parts of the country.
No. Then aside from that, Uche Nwosu is not the only aspirant in APC. Even his deputy is an aspirant. Yeah. There are other
But he was chief of staff.
Yeah, yes. But
who understands the running of government?
No, that is not the issue. Who can understand the running of government more than your deputy?
Sometimes the chief of staff.
No, it's not true.
It's quite more central.
The chief of staff, by implication, is even. I don't want to use a foul language. Is even an errand boy to the governor. Let me put it that way. But the deputy is handling the affairs of the state with you every day-to-day runnings. You see, when you look at it this way,
based on the Nigerian experience, would you say the deputy or the vice president or deputy governor really has such a significant role in terms of being hands-on and understanding?
There is nothing the president or the governor does that the deputy will not know. At least he must be put on He must be put on notice. Despite the fact that the law, yes, she stands as a second layer when the governor or the president decides to delegate powers to him. But what I am trying to say here is this. Other aspirants in the party also saw it as a slide, saw it as an insult. That informed why there was a coalition. Remember, there was a coalition.
Yes.
Other aspirants came together, agreed to work with one voice against him. Ask yourself why. I don't know. That is why you see all these things happen. So he felt one person cannot win the race. You need others. And what we are saying is this. Imo people are tired of this kind of government.
What you call familiocracy.
That's what you have in Imo State.
But some would point to a place like the United States, for example, where you have had two Bushes emerge president. You've had Governor Jeb Bush in Florida and all of it, while the brother was president.
The brother, not the wife, not the son-in-law.
They are still
blood.
There are still blood relations, yes. But you see, you look at the antecedents. If the yearnings of Imo people had been, we want this person, is a different thing. But Rochas Okrocha is saying, whether you people like, you are journalists, for Christ's sake. You see all this thing. He's not hiding it. In fact, as I speak to you, the Uche Nwosu of a person we are talking about has already started calling himself the governor of Imo State. 2019.
What do you think is playing out really? Impunity is a word that has been a recurring decimal in our democratic ethos so far. What do you think is playing out in terms of the bigger picture? Why these tendencies seem to, be carrying the day now? It's because it's not just Imo. You have an Amosun, who the chairman of the party, Shomole, has, accused of resorting to self-help, that he just wants to be the lord of the manor. He decides who will be the next governor, who will go to House of Reps, who will go to there, wherever.
You see, as I talk to you, it's not only Rochas and even Amosun. These things have been a recurrent decimal. It has been happening. But the question we should be asking ourselves is this. Why must somebody who is leaving office decide who succeeds him? If you don't have anything to hide? If you don't think there are some things you want the person to come and help you to tidy up and all the rest. So why?
Yeah, but is there anything wrong in deciding who takes over, especially when you have put the state on a certain pedestal and you feel that there should be continuity on the programs that you have?
We now begin to look at, equate it with what is on ground. That's why I said, if you have done well, it is people that will even tell you, please bring somebody
but
for us to continue from
Justice,
you.
the issue of done well, you know it is always relative from where you stand. So, there are other people who are going to say that, well, Okorocha has done fantastically, beautifully well.
I will
It's the same thing with the leadership at the center right now. There are some people who say, well, Buhari has not done anything. There are others who say, well, he has done fantastically well.
I will make you to tell you that anybody that said Rochas has done well in Imo State is an enemy of democracy. The same thing
why is that?
Yes, the same thing goes to anybody that said Buhari has done well in Nigeria is also an enemy of democracy.
Justice Uhuebu is a lawyer and yes, and of course political affairs analyst. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you.